Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about this week's predictions of the new previews that are going to be coming out tomorrow night at 6 PM UK time, I believe. So let's have a chat. Let's do a little bit of wish listing. Yeah, so tomorrow we have at, I believe, 6 PM GMT, British Standard Time, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon American time, East Coast, I believe. We have some World Championship previews. Big preview show up by all accounts. You know, this is GW hype, so take that with a very big pinch of salt. But we have the main games are going to be covered. We've got Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, the Old World, the Horus Heresy, and a little bit of shoehorned in their Black Library. What could all that be? Well, let's have a little chat. So, first things first, Warhammer 40k. What do I think we're going to see for 40k? Well, probably definitely 100% we're going to be seeing that Death Corps of Krieg Army launch box and the new plastics of Death Corps of Krieg. The reason why is because they are literally the next army for Warhammer 40k, and we haven't seen them. We didn't get to see them at any of the last preview. In fact, the last preview for Warhammer 40k was essentially a Rattling sniper miniature, which was like some form of anniversary miniature or something. There was no real sort of short previews for 40k, so we're we're going to be seeing that, which is kind of cool. And so, you know, we're going to be seeing the Death Corps of Krieg, the army box. Now, there's a lot of rumours flying around about this. A lot of it, basically, from what I've heard, is it's essentially on par with what the Cadians got. So, you know, new command squad, new troop squad. If anyone has getting into Kill Team or in Kill Team, you'll have noticed that the Kill Team the Kill Team Krieg box didn't move into Kill Team, so it stands to reason that probably is going to be getting changed or dropped in lieu of this new kit, this new box that's coming for them. So definitely see the army box. I'm fully expecting to see at least 20 Krieg infantry, a command squad, the new commander, some of the new horses in the army box, one of the heavy weapon squads, and potentially one of the new tanks. There's apparently supposed to be a gun emplacement. I'd probably imagine seeing that in there, but you'll probably get roughly about 500 points in that box, along with the codex and some cards and all of that good stuff, as per usual. And then they'll obviously get their big full release as well. But I'd probably fully expect to see the horses and the mounted guy come in the actual main release, not in the army box itself. So the army box will probably just cover the troops, the basically bog standard infantry. The cavalry and everything else will probably come later on in the main release, which will probably be, I believe, January, February time, if I'm correct. As for the Eldar, I don't think we're going to really see much of the Eldar. They might tease some more of the Eldar in regards to some of the leaks that we've had. We kind of already have a rough idea of what's coming. It's a pretty substantial release for the Eldar, but I would probably imagine it will probably maybe get one or two teasers. I think I wouldn't get overly excited about seeing multiple things for 40k. I think we're pretty much going to see the Krieg. That's it. Potentially, maybe one or two of the new Eldar models, but I can't really see it. Definitely not going to see any of the Imperial Knights. 100% we will not see any Emperor's Children, because they're at least a year away. At least if we go on the same time frame as what the World Eaters had. So yeah. Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar is going to be at least the next 3 battle tomes. I think we're going to get to see them. I think they'll give us a little bit of a roadmap. Not so much of a roadmap of when, but at least the next 3 battle tomes that'll be coming out early part of next year. And from what I've heard that is generally going to be the Seraphon, I did hear quite a few, but yeah, I would say that we're going to see a handful of at least the next 3 battle tomes for Age of Sigmar 4th edition. Obviously, Chaos are up on pre-order this weekend, and they come out. Hopefully, whatever it is a better actual release than Slaves to Darkness, because I think the Slaves to Darkness was a disgustingly crap release. They basically got one model and some 3rd edition models repackaged in a Spearhead box and a new book, and that's it, basically. It's a little bit sad, especially considering that they've lost at least 2 units. Bearing in mind that you've also got to remember that old world models are not used in Age of Sigmar. And generally when they come out, they kind of get removed and shoehorned and changed and replaced. But we've kind of got a little bit of an issue with that, because the Chaos Lord on foot hasn't been renewed or changed for Age of Sigmar. It's still the current one, which is the one that's went over to the old world. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to play that one out and what they're actually going to do with that. But yeah, I could fully see at least three books being shown, and a little bit of a sort of, you know, what this is what's coming and blah blah blah. The next one it will probably be in January time, so I'd fully expect to see their Spearhead box and their new character, because I don't think it'll be a substantial release for them. Next, the old world. This is a really easy one. It's going to be the Empire. We've already seen leaks of packaging floating around the internet. It's definitely going to be the Empire. It's going to be coming from the old world, and it would be kind of really cool to see what they're getting. There's going to be a lot of interesting stuff for that. I, for one, are very, very interested in that. I want to see this, if there is a new steam tank coming, or if there's going to keep the current steam tank kit. Part of me keeps thinking that there is going to be a new one. But it'd be kind of really cool to see what they actually get and what the army is going to be built into. I think after them, it's potentially going to be Beasts of Chaos, and then we've got the Wood Elves and the High Elves. I think the High Elves are going to be the last army to get done before anything else. And then finally, the Horus Heresy, the HH. What is the Horus Heresy going to get? I think a lot of people are expecting news on a new edition. I still don't think there's a new edition coming. I haven't heard anything from a new edition. There's been some weird rumors on Reddit or something, but nothing coming through the people that give me my rumors. And like some of the things that have come out, it just doesn't seem right or legit. The simple fact is that it's done by the Specialist Design Studio, which is a far smaller studio than the main studio that covers 40k Age of Sigmar. So an idea of that, of a new edition coming 3 years into this one, is a little bit weird. I know Games Workshop like 3-year editions, but that's on their mainstay games. The problem with the new edition for the Horus Heresy is they haven't really finished this one. There's still a lot of things to do, a lot of things to come out. There's a lot of stuff still to be done. So if they're coming out to change the game, which I don't think they really need to do, second edition is pretty much, you know, kind of good. It's kind of like a nice tinker on from first edition, which is essentially just 7th edition, but we're now like sort of like a 7.5. I don't really see us getting anything like a new edition. What I could potentially see us getting is a big box set, a new starter set based in and around the Siege of Terror. I think they're building up for the Siege of Terror being the big narrative push for the Horus Heresy. I think that's where they're going with it. Obviously, we have Horus Ascended. It'll make sense that at some stage in the very distant, not too far future, we will see the Emperor of Mankind on the tabletop, and we will see the Siege of Terror campaign books. I think the last Beta Garmin book is kind of them sort of wrapping everything up in regards to, right, let's go. But yeah, there's a lot of potential stuff that we could see. Mark II Marines, I definitely think are there. Mark IV and Mark V are definitely coming. There's the new Cataphracti and Tartarus Terminators that are potentially going to be coming in the future as well. Then there is other units such as the Breachers and the actual sort of proper despoiler kit is potential as well. There's a big talk about super heavies being potentially shown. But personally, I think what we'll probably see is maybe a couple of new Praetor models. Fingers crossed, Salamanders, Raven Guard, World Eaters, and Iron Warriors, and probably a look at the next campaign book, which is what I think it's going to be. There's a whole thing about the Alpha Legion and the Pale Spear and all of this. I've got an entire thought process on what that actually is. I don't think it's 30k and I don't think it's 40k. I actually think it's Age of Sigmar. Because Games Workshop are very good at using parts and ideas from other miniatures into other kits. And we've kind of had that before, where we've had rumour mill minute pictures from them, only to find out that it's a completely different miniature to what everyone thought it was. So they're very good at sort of manipulating that. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is not going to be the case with this one. So yeah, I think for 30k, I think it's probably going to be something low key, potentially a new super heavy, but I think it's probably going to be sort of the next campaign book, and the next sort of little bit of a narrative push. A couple of new Praetors, a couple of consoles potentially building in. I think the big box set will come, but I just don't think it's just not yet. Now, Black Library. Well, obviously, the Black Library has to be the book that was turned up in the secondhand store. That's a part of the 30k series, but obviously was never released, and no one has a clue what book this is. I could, because the fact that this Black Library part has just like been shoehorned in since they first started talking about this preview, kind of makes me think that they're probably just going to be showing this book. And I think it was an era of ruin or ruination. There's also a potential that they may actually start showing off or potentially talking about the Scouring series, which is apparently in the works and is coming, and it's kind of sort of like the follow-on from the Horus Heresy, because there's still quite a lot of things at the end of the Heresy that hasn't happened yet that we kind of need to be addressed, like Caliban, likes of the destruction of the traitor homeworlds, and the general pushing the traitors back into the Eye of Terror, and the Ultramarines be daddy cool all over the galaxy, kicking ass and taking names. So yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff to be sort of done, and that will tie nicely into 40k and sort of set up quite well the piece that sort of was established at the start of the Beast of Rises series. So yeah, I think this could be interesting. But all in all, I'm not generally, now when it comes to GW previews, I try not to hype it up as much as other people do. I generally sort of take it as a pinch of salt. If it lasts an hour, I'm impressed. You know, if it's another 20-minute one, I'm not so impressed. But we'll see how it rolls out and see what happens. I do think we're going to see some really cool stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff coming next year. Space Wolves, Emperor's Children, new things for the Horus Heresy. The old world is getting a massive push, and Age of Sigmar are going to be rolling through the battle tomes, getting them updated for 4th edition. So I think there's some really, 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 really cool stuff. And obviously, like literally, something that's barely talked about is the new Middle-earth game, the new box set, based on the new film War of the Rohirrim. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming. So it's a really good time. Obviously, you know, we've got the Secret Labs sort of animation coming out on the 10th of December, which is going to be showing a Warhammer 40k episode, which will be following on from Space Marine 2. Space Marine 2 is just doing amazingly really well, and there's a boatload of content coming next month for that. So it's a really good time to be a Warhammer fan right now, so it's going to be good. But as for tomorrow night, I'm not going to be doing a live stream or anything. I'm probably just do a video once it's all done, sort of just going over it. Potentially maybe Saturday once everything is out, having a little talk about what's been shown, what's not been shown, and just generally giving my feedback on what I think of it. But that's the video, everybody. If you like what I do, please like, subscribe, share, comment, and all that jazz. And check out my members and Patreon areas if you want to help me in other ways. But we're going to be working on a little bit more Horus Heresy content is coming, and some old world stuff as well. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, all in all, It's all looking good for the channel, and I will catch you later, peeps. Bye bye for now.